Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. You're live. I'm live. Hi, folks. Joko here. And it's been a long time since I've shared I've done a video blog. I got a stain on this shirt. Look at this. Anyway, and some things have been going on, and I thought I'd share some thoughts. I don't like the way I look in this shirt. So put on a different shirt. Oh, yeah. Because I've already started my live thing here. I had an experience last few weeks. Now, when I took the job I'm in now, it was at the end of a long period of time when I was working for the same company. I didn't think I would be anyway, and I immediately tried to connect with their number one competitor. I'm going to save the names here, and they actually knew. I knew the guy who ran the place, and they expressed interest, and I went through the whole interview process. And, at the end of it, they said, "Yeah, we want you, and we want you to come to when we open our second center there in Mandalay. That's where I was living." And I'm like, "Okay, well, all right, yeah, that's fine. I'd like to be something to be first, one of the first members or the first people who start a place. That would be cool." And I expected that to be a couple of months, and so I needed a job. So I found just on Facebook an international school that needed teachers. And I started working at KGI, and I'd never. I mean, I'd been working at an international school right here in Mandalay, but I was an adjunct. I didn't really wasn't really one of the teachers. I don't think. Anyway, I that was 2 years ago now, almost 2.5 years ago, and a month ago. That first. Oh, let me finish with the when we opened the second center, and I knew where it was going to be. It was going to be at a particular hotel. They would tear that down and put a language center in there, and the hotel wasn't going anywhere. Now the building that housed the place is gone because of the earthquake. So no second center, but they did contact me. This is now two years later, to see if I was still interested in coming on with them. And I thought I'd check it out. And again, I was interested in the first place. And then we reacquainted ourselves again. I had been hired, and I'm certainly qualified for this job. I went and checked out their facility here where I'd be working, see what they do. And it was okay. There was something that I saw, which I'll talk about. I'd like to say that this was the reason I then, after checking the place out, decided not to go and work for them mostly because of money. There was a little bit of an increase in pay, but I'd have to work like instead of I mean working like half again as much more. So like pay per hour was a big difference. It's a pittance, and I was surprised that they offered me a starting salary. Like this was what they'd offer anybody who's new. I guess I'm new to the company, but I'm not new to the business, and I was a bit taken aback by the fact that it was just like the same deal they would offer anyone with no experience off the street. No. I'm worth more than that, goddammit. I've been a manager in this business, and it would have taken actually quite a bit more to make me say yes. One of the things that I saw there at the facility was in the room that I was in, the classroom. There on the wall was some inspirational sayings meant to make people, just like you'd find in any school. Hang in there. And it said, English is the key to the opportunities. Articles. I know there are grammar bugbear, but we don't use the definite article the before a plural noun when we're speaking in general. It is not a really well known grammar rule, but it is certainly a very commonly broken grammar rule. Any English teacher should know it. And here's this, how many teachers have been in and out of that classroom for the, and how long has that thing been on the wall and no one said anything? I mean, I don't know if I could, like that either tells me something about the company in that nobody cares, or no one caught it, or was bold, as much of a grammarian as me to say something about it. I know half a dozen people who would not stand to see that in a classroom. A grammar error. I know I certainly wouldn't. I first day I was there, I would be painting it over. Unfortunately, that the was on the second line of two lines, and it was over on one side, so you could actually just paint it over, and no one would be the wiser. Very simple fix. That's not the reason I didn't take the job, but it didn't hurt. I mean, it hurt. I decided to stay where I'm at, but I want to do more. I want to do. I want to not just be a teacher. I want a promotion. In fact, I have I have a particular set of skills on the Facebook. My school where I've been working now for more than 2 years. The ninth grade is 18 students. That's the ninth grade, 18 students. So you can't really break them up by, in tracks, like an advanced placement track and a general track, like most schools will do once they have enough students to do that with. We need to do that because I could see it in how the material, the bright ones aren't getting as much out of it as they could if there was a room of bright ones, and the dumb ones just don't get it at all because we're using first language material, not ESL material, and it would be better for everyone all around if the ninth grade was taught in two tracks. But of course, you need a lot more students to do that with. I know how to do that. My knowledge of marketing, advertising, and this particular market and how to implement it is significant. And so I know how to do it. Give me 3 years and I'll get that 15 or 18 students to 50 and well, maybe not that long. But anyway, that would be a reasonable goal. And I'd only ask for I would only ask for a salary that's modest, but then also work as a teacher too. I'd love to sell something. I enjoy selling. I'd sell KGI in a minute. Not sell it out, but sell it. Tell you how great it is. Have to look hard, but it's got some things that, yeah, yeah, ratio of foreign teacher to student is quite good. Okay, so that's my vlog for the day. What I'm up to, people. Okay, how do I end? End stream.